Hey everyone, picture this. It's 1918, World War I trenches. A soldier gets a small wound, but bacteria turn it deadly. No real way to stop infections back then. Then, in 1928, a quiet Scottish scientist spots something weird in a dirty petri dish, and the world gets penicillin, the first true antibiotic that saved millions. But here's the twist. The man who discovered it couldn't make it work on a big scale. It took another brilliant team, led by a determined Australian and a fiery German refugee, to turn that lucky accident into a miracle drug. Today, we dive deep into Alexander Fleming's life, his famous oops moment, and how Howard Florey, with Ernst picked up the torch and ran with it. Smash like if you're ready for this epic science story. Alexander Fleming was born on August 6, 1881, on a tiny farm called Lockfield near Darvel in Scotland, the youngest of 8 kids from his dad's 2 marriages. Growing up surrounded by sheep, cows, and endless fields made him super observant. He noticed tiny things, like how some plants fought off rot, that most people ignored. At 14, he moved to London to live with his older brother, who was an eye doctor. For 4 boring years, he worked in a shipping office, saving every penny. Then, in 1901, an uncle's inheritance let him study medicine at St. Mary's Hospital Medical School in Paddington. He graduated with top honors in 1906 and stayed on as a bacteriologist under the famous vaccine pioneer Sir Almroth Wright. World War I hit hard. From 1914 to 1918, Fleming served as a captain in the Royal Army Medical Corps in France. He treated soldiers with horrible shrapnel wounds, but most died from raging infections, not the bullets. The antiseptics they used damaged human tissue and couldn't reach deep germs. Fleming later wrote it was hopeless. That experience burned into him. We need something that kills bacteria inside the body without harming us. Back at St. Mary's, in 1921, he discovered lysozyme, a natural germ killer in tears, saliva, and mucus after sneezing on a bacteria plate during a cold. It was cool, but weak against deadly bugs. Still, it planted the seed. Nature has antibacterial weapons. Maybe there's a stronger one out there. September 1928. Fleming, now 47 and a professor, heads to Scotland for a 2-week family holiday. He leaves petri dishes stacked on his famously messy bench, full of Staphylococcus aureus, the germ behind boils, abscesses, and deadly sepsis. Window open, cool air blows in. A spore drifts from downstairs. A colleague studied fungi. Back on September 3, 1928, he tidies up, picks up one dish to toss, and stops. "That's funny," he says to assistant Merlin Price. A fuzzy blue-green mold blob sits in the bacteria lawn. Around it, a perfect clear halo, no germs growing. The mold killed them. It was Penicillium notatum. He grew it, made a broth, tested it. It wiped out staph, strep, pneumonia germs, but spared human cells. On March 7, 1929, he named it penicillin. Published his paper in June 1929, tried it on a few minor infections, worked. But it was unstable, tiny yields, hard to purify, no big interest. Fleming kept the culture alive for over a decade, quietly hoping someone would develop it. He was humble, understated, never chased funding aggressively. He once said, "Nature did the work, I just noticed." Wow! One overlooked dish, one spore from the air, and history shifts. If this is blowing your mind, like now, subscribe, bell on. Comment Fleming funny if you're loving the accidental genius vibe. Let's go! 10 years pass. Penicillin sits mostly forgotten.
Then, in 1938 to 1939, at Oxford University's Sir William Dunn School of Pathology, two brilliant minds rediscover Fleming's paper. First, Howard Walter Florey, born September 24, 1898 in Adelaide, Australia, the only son of a bootmaker. Super smart, athletic, won a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford in 1921. Became professor of pathology in 1935. Florey was the visionary leader, practical, determined, great at building teams and getting money. He focused on real-world results, not just theory. His key partner, Ernst Boris Chain, born 1906 in Berlin, a brilliant German-Jewish biochemist who fled Nazis in 1933. Chain was fiery, sensitive, sometimes abrasive. He fought with Florey over credit, but a genius at chemistry. Chain read Fleming's 1929 paper while studying antibacterials, including lysozyme, and said, "This could be huge." Florey agreed. In September 1939, as WW2 starts, they get a tiny 250-pound grant and launch the penicillin project. They build an all-star team. Norman Heatley, the engineering wizard who rigged bedpans and milk churns for purification, Edward Abraham, Margaret Jennings, and more. Chain purified the unstable broth. Heatley scaled growth. Florey ran animal tests. 1940. Mice infected with deadly strep. Treated ones live. Controls die overnight. Chain called it a miracle. They publish in The Lancet, August 1940. Fleming hears the buzz and visits Oxford. Chain later said he was shocked. "Good God, I thought he was dead." Fleming was modest, gave them full credit, shared his original culture. Florey always respected Fleming as the discoverer. Their personalities complemented perfectly. Fleming noticed the funny thing. Florey and Chain refused to let it stay a curiosity. February 1941, first human, policeman Albert Alexander, dying from a rose thorn infection. Penicillin injections bring dramatic recovery, but supply runs out after 5 days. He dies. Heartbreaking proof. It works, but we need mass production.
Britain bombed. No factories. June 1941, Florey and Heatley fly to America with spores in coat pockets. Partner with U.S. labs in Peoria. Corn steep liquor plus deep tanks plus Moldy Mary's cantaloupe superstrain explode yields. By D-Day 1944, penicillin saves thousands of wounded soldiers.
1945. Fleming, Florey, and Chain share the Nobel Prize. Fleming's banquet speech, "It was destiny which contaminated my culture plate" in 1928. Destiny which led Chain and Florey in 1938 to investigate penicillin. Florey said humbly, "The three of us got it together." Chain thanked Britain for adopting him. Fleming, knighted Sir in 1944, died 1955, buried in St. Paul's. Florey became Baron Florey, died 1968. Chain, knighted 1969, died 1979. Their combo, Fleming's observant luck, plus Florey's leadership, plus Chain's chemistry, launched antibiotics, saved millions. But Fleming warned in his Nobel speech about resistance from underdosing. Lesson: curiosity plus persistence plus teamwork equals miracles. Stay observant, stay determined. Thanks for watching. Like if the Fleming-Florey Chain story inspired you. Subscribe, comment your fave part, Destiny Spore or Miracle Mice. Share with a science lover. Next up, another world changer. Stay curious. See you soon.